and welcome to Molé Mama. I'm here in beautiful Maui and I'm going to be making fish soup for you. It's a traditional Portuguese recipe, but of course I have to sassy it up with sete mares. This morning we went to buy our fish and I got this beautiful local red snapper. I'm going to be making fish stock with that. So we're going to be using zucchini and local purple potatoes that I can't get in California, carrots and some celery and some yummy tomatoes, onions and these peppers. And then we're going to top it all up with some fresh cilantro and mangoes and avocado to make it super special and using local ingredients from here in Maui. So we're gonna get that fish stock ready. We're going to be using fresh celery, some big chunks of fresh ginger, garlic, onions. I cut up some of the pieces of the carcass of the fish, the beautiful red snapper we had. And we've got some black salt from here locally from Maui that we're going to be throwing into that stock. Our fish stock is going really well. It's just about finished. And I wish you could smell it. It just smells amazing. The fish is broken down. It's a nice, rich stock. So I've got a big strainer. Just going to pour it all in. I've got a big bowl right below me. As I mentioned earlier, we don't want any of those fish bones or anything, so we're just going to toss that. But what's left inside of it is this lovely stock. And this is what's going to give our soup wonderful, rich flavor. If you don't have access to fish bones or fish head or any of the things that I was showing earlier, what you can do is take some shrimp, peel them, and use the peeling of the shrimp or just a few shrimp, and just exactly the way I did, and that will give you a nice, rich fish stock as well. What we're going to do next is we're going to saute some celery, onions, garlic, and peppers. I told you I was going to get sassy with our Portuguese fish soup, and we're going to add some chilies. So we have serranos, jalapenos, and some red chilies, and we're also going to do some tomatoes. We're going to saute all that, get it al dente, and then I'll be back and show you our next step. And here are our tomatoes and onions and garlic and chiles all simmering nicely together in just a tiny bit of olive oil. We're gonna get those al dente, and then we're gonna throw in our lovely fish stock. The first thing that we'll be adding in after we add the stock is what takes the longest to cook. So we've got these nice, lovely purple potatoes from Maui that we're gonna be throwing in. At the same time, we'll add in our carrots, and then we have a little bit of white long grain rice we'll add in, and we'll just keep going from there. Here, and take a look at our soup that's simmering away. There's rice and there's carrots. You see our tomatoes and our peppers, our chiles. It smells amazing in here. We're having some rain in Maui, which is fine, so we have to have bread. So I'll be toasting this up in a little bit. I just bought a loaf of fresh French bread and added a little butter, maybe more than a little butter, but it's going to be absolutely delicious with our soup. Before the fish and the shrimp go in we've got some squash. We've got zucchini and some summer squash. I'm going to add in some ginger and some fresh squeezed lemon juice. Well, you can see all the steam behind me. The soup is boiling away. I'm about to chop up our fish. Check out our iron jaw snapper that we bought earlier this morning here in Maui. It's completely fresh. You can see the color is amazing. So I'm going to cube this up, and then we're going to add that to the fish, or excuse me, add that to the fish soup at the very end. It's actually the last ingredient that we'll add. And I have another tip for you when you're dealing with fresh fish. I've actually cut off this darker color part, and it's close to the spine. I usually always cut it off. It's a little bit bitter tasting. Probably some purists out there would say don't do it, but I do. You know, take your knife and get it off. I do the same with salmon and with most fish. I like to clean it up a little bit. Here is our lovely iron jaw snapper from Maui. I've chopped it up in nice little chunks, and I've also washed it. We will add this in at the very end when our squash is cooked, and we're only going to leave it cook probably for about 5 minutes. It's going to cook super fast. And the one thing that you don't want to do is overcook it. And also we'll drop in shrimp, I would say, actually in the last 5 minutes as well. And we'll wash those in a moment. Okay, I've just dropped in those big chunks of lovely fish. And you can see how it turns white immediately. And it's going to be done very, very quickly. And our fish shrimp soup is all done. Fish is nice and white, it's cooked. Our shrimp, like I said, it cooked in about 5 minutes. Garnished it with some local mango, some cilantro, and avocado. Now, our cilantro and avocado are really items that we would use more in our siete mares, which is a Mexican seafood dish. But, you know, Molé Mama, I like to mix things together when I can. So I mixed some of my Portuguese heritage with some of my Mexican heritage, and we have this lovely soup. And as I promised, we have some yummy bread with some butter. And I'm going to take a bite. Yum! I think both of my grandmas would approve today. And if you actually cook this dish, please post pictures of it to Facebook or Instagram. And mahalo. Aloha. It's smelling good in here.